If you are squatting in the gym, we want to make sure that you're doing it with the right form. So to begin a squat, tell them you want to begin with your feet about hip width apart and facing straight forward. You do not want to start with your feet turned out or your feet turned in, and you want to not be too wide unless you're trying to focus on muscles like your adductors. However, there are going to be some of you out there that need to go a little bit wider if you're finding that keeping your hips in line with your feet is causing any kind of pinching in the hips, causing any kind of back pain, then you may try going a little bit wider because of your anatomy. So we're beginning with feet in neutral, hip width apart. We're going to make sure that in a squat we hinge from our hips first and not bend from our knees. So as we fold forward slightly, about 30 to 45 degrees depending on the length of your femurs and your comfort level, you're going to hinge from the hips first and then start to bend your knees, keeping your posture at that angle as you continue to drop down. You're going to go to about 90 degrees, drop, and then you're going to use your core, your glutes, and your quads to rise back up from that squat. You're going to finish your squat when you feel your core stacked nicely on top of each other, finishing the movement with a pelvic tilt. You are not going to finish it by lifting your chest, coming up out of that squat, hitting here, and then going, okay, now I'm done. Because that's going to tighten your back here and cause back issues, all right? So from the front view, if you could do this in front of a mirror, it would be even more helpful to look out for these compensations. You do not want to see your knees going in towards each other or pushing out towards the side. You want to keep those knees in line with your hips as you sit back, and you accomplish that by opening your bottom down and backwards rather than tucking under or arching your back and letting those legs come out. From the front view, you're also looking for, am I weight shifting appropriately, or am I putting all my weight on one side, all my weight on the other side, letting my hip pop out to the side as I go down? These are all things that we're trying to avoid. If you want to check the angle and make sure that you're not folding over too far, which is more of a deadlift than a squat, you can use something like a dowel, a long umbrella, a PVC pipe, broomstick, whatever you have, okay? You're gonna take this broomstick, you're gonna place it behind your back, stand in front of that mirror like we talked about so you can have some feedback, and you're gonna look at the angle of the stick. This would be 0 degrees, this is about 30 degrees, and this is about 45 degrees. So somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees is where you want to be as you are squatting down and keeping that angle as you come back up. You can also feel your back flatten against the dowel at the top versus feeling your back arch away from it. And that's another way you can tell if you are arching your back too far on the way up. To add resistance to a squat, you can either hold resistance right here up at your chest, you can hold resistance down by your side, or you can have something like a barbell overhead and you're resting it on your shoulders or in the front, depending on what you're going for. So with a kettlebell here at my chest, it feels a whole lot easier to balance myself out and stay upright because now I've got additional weight pulling me forward, and that makes this easier. So try it out and comment below if you're having any difficulty and want some additional help.